Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino lists 4 Sun and Moon Pokemon that could be good as fighters in Super Smash Bros. 4, not 5, because there honestly aren't a ton of options. This list has some relevancy in the current time period because it is, I think, confirmed that both Melee and Smash 4 are going to be ported to the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if immediately when it comes out, but at least at some point. And it's been said by the developers of Smash Bros. That there may be a couple new characters that would come to at least the Smash 4 port. Hopefully they do literally nothing with Melee except make it laglessly playable on HD TVs, but the introduction of new characters in Smash 4 is promising. Now, they specifically said a couple, so I don't think we should expect more than 2, maybe 3, and given that one of them is almost assuredly going to be Ice Climbers because they had them working in Smash 4 originally before they were removed since the 3DS version wouldn't have been able to have them, now that the Switch is coming out to bridge the gap between console and handheld, I think it's almost certain they'll bring the Ice Climbers back. But this video isn't about that. This intro's too long already. Let's just hypothesize together which Sun and Moon Pokemon could possibly be selected as one of those other characters to be added. Incineroar. When selecting a Pokemon to bring into the Smash universe, you have to take a few things into account. Playability and recognizability. Every Pokemon that's ever been in Smash has been a defining trait of that generation, from the infinitely iconic Pikachu to arguably, but really not arguably, the most famous Pokemon of Generation 4, Lucario. More recently, Greninja was the most relevant starter Pokemon in X and Y, being Ash's chosen partner in the anime, and got a well-deserved spot on the roster. So let's look at Incineroar, the fire starter of Generation 7. Incineroar would fill out a fighting style that hasn't been heavily explored in Smash, a wrestler. It would undoubtedly be a heavy character and have a very strong grab game. It would hit hard without being too slow either. Think of a combination of Little Mac and Ganondorf. The theme of Incineroar is a dirty wrestler, hence the dark typing, and this could translate into its special moves by kicking dust in opponents' faces and sucker punching, among other cheap tactics. Its aerial game would be ineffectual at combos, but the strikes would hit hard when they landed, and it would absolutely have a Meteor Smash down air. Its recovery would be relatively bad. Overall, Incineroar would be a strong character with many kill moves and tough to send flying, but it would be easily gimpable and struggle offstage. Mimikyu. People are already making Mimikyu skin mods for Pikachu, so its popularity as a potential character is already set. With Pichu gone after Melee, I think there's room for another Pikachu clone, but it wouldn't fight anything like Pikachu. This'll sound weird, but I envision Mimikyu fighting a little bit like Ivysaur. It's got these Shadow Claws it can use to swipe enemies like Ivysaur's vines, giving it great range on the ground and the air. It would be about the same weight as Pikachu, maybe a bit lighter, and it could use one of its special moves to strike fear into the hearts of its opponents, maybe cause a freezing effect that's difficult to land but could launch opponents frozen off stage like Jigglypuff's Rest. It could use a Neutral B copycat to mimic the special move last used by the opponent, which would add a new layer of concentration and awareness to the matchup. Its recovery could be a Mewtwo/Zelda style teleport where it disappears into a shadow void and reappears at a pretty good range. I actually think there's a lot of viability up for grabs for a Pokemon like Mimikyu, and I'd be very excited to see him in a Smash game. He'd be my main in a second. Tsareena. We kind of have to throw recognizability out the window at this point, at least when it comes to Pokemon identification that reaches people who don't play Pokemon. Mimikyu is the only instant classic kind of Pokemon in Sun and Moon, in my opinion, and Incineroar only scored points in that category for being a starter. So now we're going to focus on playability. I see Tsareena as a Peach kind of character, but with a much larger emphasis on kicking. That's Tsarena's strong suit, after all. She'll have devastating smash attacks across the board, with medium range thanks to her long legs. She'll be deceptively heavy, but a slow faller to compensate for weak recovery options. She'll be about as fast as Peach, with a combo-starting dash attack that pops the enemy up in place for a follow-up, and her crouch-canceling abilities will be especially strong. As essentially queen of her evolutionary line, her special moves could call in assistance from groups of Bounsweet and Steenie for projectile and non-projectile-based attacks to help her rack up multi-hitting percents, while her assortment of smash and kill moves could then be used to finish the job. Because of this, Tsareena has good options available to both deal damage and knock enemies off screen, and that would make her a powerful character, albeit one that is easily comboed. Torracat. Hear me out. I mean, they put Ivysaur in a game, didn't they? Incineroar would undoubtedly be a good character for Smash, sure, but I'm even more partial to the idea of its pre-evolution joining the fray. It's a fast, prehistoric saber cat that could give Pikachu a run for its money in terms of fighting style. Torracat's dashing speed would rival that of Fox, but could cover much more horizontal ground in the air. This thing would zip back and forth across the screen, demanding precision to land its blazing fast attacks. It'll be like if Pikachu and Fox had a deadly monster baby. Torracat will have multi-hitting aerial moves and fast ground jabs with its claws, and be an absolute force to be reckoned with. Well, that's it for this video. If you have any ideas about Sun and Moon Pokemon you think would be a good fit for Smash Bros, you can list them down in the comments section, but otherwise, I'll see you guys next time.